Hi, Sam Baxendale here, co-founder of Kinetic Hiring. So for the second of our frequently asked questions, we've got an inquiry from Kumar, who's head of TA with a well-known fintech here in Malaysia. And Kumar asks, if you're a candidate, from a candidate perspective, when stating future salary expectations, how much should you ask for? What is the right answer to that question? Is there a formula or an industry trend right now? The way I would answer that question is by simply stating that the right salary, in my view, isn't necessarily determined by the current salary that the candidate is on. For me, it really should be objectively benchmarked based on market. So if you are a candidate, for me, I would be going out there and getting my data points together. There are various sources available online from job boards and from various sort of salary insight sources online, where you can really get an accurate feel, use different data points and get an average in terms of what is an appropriate market rate, because the data doesn't lie, and if you can back up your assertions in terms of what you're worth with key data points, that's going to help your case. My message to employers is to sort of gradually move away from this idea that what you're offering candidates should be somehow benchmarked to a fixed percentage increase based on the current salary of the candidate. I understand there are certain embedded processes and legacy practices, and that's going to take time, and we need to work with compliance in certain industries. But the more we can get away from this fixation with current salary, the better, and that applies to both the employer and to candidates. So it's a two-way thing. Having said that, as a candidate, I would also be really keen to ensure that you are looking at your whole package. These days there are various components to a typical package. It's not just about base salary. There are various perks and allowances to build this sort of compound picture in terms of what you're on. Even things like parking, that can actually be a critical factor when you get to the sort of final negotiation stages. So be really, really conscious about those little things that really make up the overall package, and not just base it on the base salary. Particularly things like bonus, of course. Certain businesses are paying as a norm 3 months bonus or even more, and certain businesses have a much more discretionary component to that. Bonus can play a big role in those salary negotiations. So be conscious of that. My final thought on this is that if you're a candidate, you really need to put the opportunity front and center. Think about why you're leaving your current business, why you're drawn to a new potential employer. Think about culture fit, think about learning opportunities, and think about career development. For me, I think it's worth taking a lateral move if it's a much better fit in terms of those factors, which for me are much more important than just salary alone. And if you think about what your earning potential is over the next 3 to 5 years, that should be the perspective rather than the immediate increment that you're going for. So look, there's a few pointers there. I think the solution lies with both the employer and with staff. Think about the bigger picture, and let's move away from this fixation with current salary. I think we need to take a collective view on that. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you.